So as I looked at Saben Lee's rookie season and the areas where I think he can really improve going into next year, there was 3. His three-point shooting, his in-between game. For me, that's between 3 to 10 feet, and his turnovers. So the first thing we're going to start with, and we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, is his three-point shooting. I just want to highlight why it's important here for a guy to be able to knock down shots. He was 8 of 23 from 3 this year, which isn't awful, but not a huge sample size. But watch Aaron Gordon here on Saben Lee as this action's going on with Bay and Plum. Like, he's not even paying attention. He comes all the way over to help. And then on the pass, there's a rotation here, but they're not overly worried about it. Now, I did show in the strength scenario where guys close out him hard. He just has to be a good enough shooter, and you saw there's a little hitch in it. I think he can develop some consistency in his three-point shot where he becomes a good enough shooter to continue to be a good floor space, a solid floor spacer, make guys close out to him and let his teammates work. Or if a guy gets away from him, then they have to close out hard. As you see here, okay, he cocks it back to his shoulder just a little bit, but it looked a little more fluid. He was able to knock it down. So again, we're not going to spend a lot of time on that. I'm not going to break down the shot. Okay, I'm no shooting coach, okay, especially for the NBA, but I do think that's an area where you could improve. The next, I'm going to have to backtrack just a little bit on his strengths, okay, where I said he was great in the lane. He could improve in this in-between game where he shot 38% from 3 to 10 feet. And a lot of it's kind of that floater game. Again, he's getting to his spot. So this isn't a critique. It's just if he starts making this, he takes his offensive game to a whole nother level. Tough one here. Right foot launch, okay, right foot finish. Those are tough. Go to the gym and don't jump off your left foot, jump off your right, and then try to shoot it with your right hand, and it's tough. But you see him getting to his spots. That's what I love about it. Again, with him, it's not about getting to his spots. It's about finishing when he does get there. Okay, puts Van Vliet in jail here off the ball screen. Little push floater, just not able to convert. Need to see him finish these at a higher rate next year. Straight isolation, complete blow by. Like, this is tough to do, guys. Complete blow by of the defender. Late shot clock. Again, going to go to the little floater off 2 feet. I love the 2-foot floater. Just not able to convert. Okay, again, would like to see him convert at a higher rate. Here again, we're going to see him attack. And this I love. So he gets a shot fake, uses his footwork, and is able to finish there. So he attacks a closeout. Gets through, plays through a little contact, shot fake, step through. Here's that little right foot, off his right foot again with his right hand, and is able to finish. So I did want to highlight some situations where he was able to make these shots. We're going to see it again here. Going to attack, uses the ball screen, and this is what I'm talking about. This one's off 1 foot, but that just looks real pure to me. Like, very fluid, very comfortable with that shot. Uses the ball screen, comes off, little 1 foot takeoff from 10 feet or so, and knocks it down. That's where I would like to see Saben Lee get better. Right there in those scenarios, knock those down. To me, that might even be more important to improve on than the three-point shots. And then lastly, the turnovers. Because he gets to the lane so often, he's going to find him in situations where he has to make decisions. He averaged 2.5 turnovers per 36 minutes. His assist to turnover ratio was amazing. Don't get me wrong. I'm just looking at small areas where he can improve. So again, not a criticism. I love the baseline pass, but as I highlighted in his strengths, okay, but it can put you in tough situations. One, you're going to leave your feet to make the pass. He has a tendency to do that a little bit. Here, he ends up leaving his feet. I think he wants to make the baseline pass, and it ends up not being there. Here, just makes the wrong read. So he comes to 2 feet. I've talked about how well he plays on the baseline, but Isaiah Stewart is the dump off here. Okay, the guys are rotating to shooters on the perimeter. Okay, rotating to Josh Jackson anyway, okay, whether you want to call him a shooter, but the defender is running to Josh Jackson. He's left Isaiah Stewart. The pass here is a little drop off to Isaiah Stewart. Saben Lee not able to make the right read there. It's going to happen, but again, an area to improve. And then the biggest area for me is accuracy of his passes. So I'm going to show you a few clips where he just doesn't accurately make the pass. I love this. Refuses the ball screen. Again, blows by his man. So now we're at an advantage for the Pistons. Throws the lob to Sekou. Some of this stuff has to do with understanding personnel as well. Maybe Sekou thought he was going to drop it off. You know, there's some of that as well. You're going to see on this one, okay, with Isaiah Stewart also. As he uses the Stewart, comes back. I think he thinks Stewart's going to roll. Stewart's kind of short rolling to set up for the jumper, and he throws an inaccurate pass. So some of this is going to be developing chemistry with his teammates as well, which these guys we may see in summer league this summer, and then into training camp, etc., into next year. But again, I can't emphasize that he gets to the paint. I love it. And I talked about this on his strengths. He's manipulating the defender with his eyes, holding the defender with his eyes. But he has to know Tyler Cook's probably cutting here, not standing on the perimeter for a shot. Pass is kind of off, inaccurate. And that's an area where I'd like to see Lee improve. I think he could cut down on his turnovers even more by just knowing his teammates. What are they going to do? Where are they going to be? That's a point guard's job. So in conclusion, again, I always like to emphasize not critiques, just areas where I think they can improve to take their game to another level. That consistent three-point shot, that in-between game between 3 and 10 feet, more specifically that little floater game, and then improve and limit those turnovers.